A very warm and hearty good day to all of you. My name is Ramanpreet Kaur Bhatia. I'm a chartered accountant from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, a certified practicing accountant from CP Australia, and a distinguished Toastmaster from Toastmasters International. In this video, I'll be talking about the concepts of business ecosystem and how do we create value in that business ecosystem. I'll also be talking about the concepts of value-based strategy, strategic partnership, and strategic network. I hope all of you will find some value in this video. So let's start. Business ecosystem. A business ecosystem can be defined as the coexistence and co-evolution of the organizations based on their ongoing interaction. It's a bubble. It's a place where all the businesses are coexisting and they are working together with each other so that there is a co-evolution also of those organizations. Now, this concept calls for new strategies where competitive advantage shifts from what an organization does better than its competitors to how the partnerships and alliances help each other and all involved parties to do better. All in all, it's a perspective of a business external environment wherein we have to understand that where the value is created and how the organization may seek to capture that value through cooperation also plus competition also. There are so many entities together in that place, and all these entities, they are interdependent, they are coexisting together, they are dependent on each other for that value creation. So it's a competition, but there has to be a cooperation also, right? Nobody can survive alone, all of them have to work together. So this concept is known as business ecosystem. Everybody's together, all the parties, all the players in the environment, they work together. They work together to create value, and then they share the benefits of the value which is created through this cooperation. Right? We talked about in one of our previous video, we talked about the types of business system. There are 3 types of business system: innovation ecosystem, platform ecosystem, and service ecosystem. Now, what is innovation ecosystem? It's working together to innovate. An example would be the wholesalers and retailers. They join together, they work together in this business ecosystem. Why? So that an efficiency is created for inventory management. Right? So the wholesaler and retailer, they work together. They are interdependent. They are competing with each other, but at the same time, they're also cooperating with each other. The second type of business ecosystem is platform ecosystem. We know as the very classic example of this is the Apple hardware, right? It's a platform ecosystem. Apple is hosting a number of applications on its Play Store. So people, the developers, they go to that. They have invited different developers to come to its Play Store, develop their applications, and upload it there. Right? So it's a platform ecosystem. Apple has given a platform. It's a platform where Apple is also coexisting with the different applications. Then the last one is service ecosystem, the way the exchanges between different organizations or within an organization which create values for all the parties involved. Right? So what exactly is business ecosystem? There is all the entities in the business ecosystem, they are interdependent on each other. They are working together. At the same time, they are competing with each other. When there are lots of partnerships, there are lots of alliances, because a single organization cannot prosper in its standalone way. right? But when we are working with others, we need to have that resilience. We have to adapt to their ways also. We have to have that flexibility of bringing in that change also, right? So it comprises, a business ecosystem comprises of following, which is the value co-creation, cooperate plus compete, coexistence of many businesses, co-evolution, partnerships and alliances, interdependence, then resilience, flexibility, and adaptability. So that is the concept of business ecosystem. Now, why is there any need of business ecosystem? Can't the organizations work on independent ways, right? Why? Because they are dependent on each other. They are evolving together. Why? The exact they're creating a value. So what is a value co-creation? It's a concept within the ecosystem approach which holds customers or other parties in creating a product or service where all the parties benefit. Right? It's not for organization A or it is not for organization B. Organization A and organization B have to work together, they have to come together, and then only they will create some value, then only they will create a product or service, and all the parties involved, including the customers, organization A and organization B, all of them will share the benefits. That is known as value co-creation. But as I said earlier, it requires a lot of resilience and flexibility because you have to work with other members of the ecosystem, right? So, what are the benefits of value co-creation? Intrinsic value for staff, social rewards for staff and organization, and in extrinsic rewards. Now, an example of value co-creation is the open innovation concept. What is open innovation? Organization A has invented something, right? Maybe it's a new way of working, right? They have an improved way of working. They have innovated something in that field. What they will do, since they are coexisting with organization B, they will document this innovation and put it in the ecosystem. Now, if organization B also wants to improve its ways, it will go and take help of the document which organization A has put. So similarly, if organization B does any innovation, it will go and document it. Organization A can take benefit of it. That is known as open innovation. Anybody who is doing an innovation, they will go and put it in the central database so that any organization can access. That is open innovation. So what exactly? It's an example of value co-creation. Now we say that value co-creation, business to business, all businesses come together, they share resources and they give shared value. Again, we'll take the example of Apple. Apple has its own developers who create specific apps only for Apple. What Apple has done is it has invited developers to come on Apple platform and create apps which are exclusively for Apple products. As a result, what happens is how Apple is benefiting from this value co-creation, this business ecosystem. People know that this particular product, it has got specific apps which are very, very good, very beneficial. People will go and buy Apple. Now, the sale of Apple has increased because of these apps, right? So it is dependent on those developers. What is the benefit to the developers? Developers, they have developed some apps, but they need a platform to launch their apps, and Apple has given them that platform. So it's a win-win situation for both the developers as well as the Apple people. Right. So it's an example of value co-creation, business to business. Similar is the example of a courier service, the courier service apps where there is a retailer, it hires a courier company which delivers the parcels to the customers. Now the online tracking is reduced, there is an online tracking, so the direct inquiries have reduced. efficient services, less wastage of resources. So that is value co-creation. Attached to it is the concept of customer co-creation. Now, when we say co-creation, what does it exactly mean? Co-creation, creating something together with somebody else. It means trust. It means cooperation. It means strong ties between different organization managers. Right? So what is customer co-creation? It involves customers in the value creation. Now, suppose we will discuss the example of Lego. What Lego has done, Lego gives the blocks, right? Blocks for children to make anything that they want. So what Lego has done is it has taken a very good and very classic approach. It has started inviting customers. It went to a set of parents and it said, okay, you tell me, what does your child want in Lego? The person said that my child wants to make a doll house. Okay, Lego got an idea. Lego got a specific kind of design suggestion from that customer. That customer felt valued. That customer felt attended to. Lego went to another person and said, what do you want? He said, I want a Spider-Man. And he gave the design of a rough Spider-Man, which he wants. Lego started developing on the lines of those that required Spider-Man. This person, this customer also felt valued. So what happens is the customers, they start feeling important, they start feeling attached, and the brand loyalty is increased. In return, the Legos also started paying them. Right? So what Lego has done, it has invited its customers to participate in design creation, and in return, it has started paying them also. Right? The customers felt valued, the customer felt attached, so their brand loyalty increased. That is the concept of customer co-creation. Now we know what is value creation, what is customer co-creation. How do we achieve it? Right? How do we achieve this? This value, how to manage disruptive innovations, and how to manage the existing business. We know for a fact that an established business must innovate, plus it has to manage the existing business performance also. An organization needs balancing. We have to compete with the organization. There are lots of disruptions happening every day. There are lots of innovations happening every day. An established organization cannot just sit quiet at one place. It has to compete with that innovation. But does that mean that I only have to concentrate only on the innovation which is coming in the market, the disruption which is coming in the market? No. My present goodwill, my present credibility is on the basis of this present business. I have to manage my present business also, plus I have to deal with this innovation. So it's a balancing act. The module has given the definition of this balancing as utilizing and optimizing existing product, the existing business, while embracing the innovation. And that is the key element of lasting growth and profitability. So if a business wants to grow, if a business wants to be profitable in the long run, it has to manage the present business, plus it has to manage the innovation. Now, to achieve this, there are three approaches: value-based strategy, strategic partnership, and disruption handling techniques. Out of these three, one, the disruption handling technique that we have already studied in one of our previous videos, but we'll just recall that. First of all, an organization has to decide whether the disruption is worth being taken into consideration, right? Whether the disruption is worth being fought for. If yes, the organization has to assess if it has resources and capabilities to cater to that disruption, to fight with that disruption. If it has enough resources, it's good. And if not, the organization has to decide from where to procure these additional resources, right? And then once it has procured these resources, it has to fight with the disruption with full heart, with full aggression, right? With aggressive innovation and improved capability. So that is disruption handling strategy, which we discussed in one of our previous videos. So in this video, we'll be talking mainly about the value-based strategy and the strategic partnership. Now, what is value-based strategy? Identify where the value is created in the business and capture that aspect where the value is created. Now, we say that, again, the same sentence, in a business ecosystem, the organizations are codependent on each other. They are interrelated. The reason for that interrelation or for that dependency is they are creating a value, and the benefit of that value is shared among all, right? But they have to decide, they have to see where exactly that value is created. They have to capture that exact point where the value is created, right? So in a business ecosystem, in a value-based strategy, the task is to identify and capture where the value is generated. The organization strategy is to determine those aspects of ecosystem that creates significant customer value. How can I do that? Because if I recognize this particular point, I'm able to capture that part of the value where the maximum value is created. That's why it is also known as value capture model. How can I do that? If I become the guardian of quality, if I'm providing quality products, my customers just don't go anywhere because the quality of my products is much better than the entire market. I have become a guardian of quality. If I have become irreplaceable, if I'm providing a product or if I'm giving a service which they cannot find in the market, I have become irreplaceable. If I can take advantage of customers' changing needs, customers' needs are changing very frequently, every now and then. If I just stick to the present grounds, if I do not foresee the future, I will be lost. Right? So if I have to take advantage of that value-based strategy, I have to understand what are the changing needs. And then I'll work as per those changing needs. The last one is, how can we redefine the value chain? Now, this is a point which I want to talk about specifically. What do you mean by redefining the value chain? This means increasing your value creation. Now, if you remember, we also did about the forward and the backward concepts of the environment. Of a value chain? What does that exactly mean? Right? Presently, in the example one, my organization contribution in value chain is X. X is a hypothetical amount that I am contributing in a value chain. Right? Now, if I want to redefine this value change, if I want to increase my share in this value change, maybe I'll take some other activity within that value chain, either forward or backward, right? Either I replace a customer or I replace a supplier and I take their position also. Now my present contribution is X plus Y. Another example of this is that of IKEA, right? We all know that IKEA is a supplier of the raw materials, the raw furniture, and we have to assemble it ourselves, right? So I am left with two options. Either I assemble whatever I got from IKEA, which is the main supplier, either I assemble it myself, or if not, then I hire some other assembler to come and do it for me. TaskRabbit is one such assembler, whom as a customer I can call and I can tell them that you please come to my place and assemble this piece of furniture for me. This piece of furniture was supplied by IKEA. Now, what IKEA has done is it has taken over this particular assembler, say TaskRabbit. It has taken that over. Now, IKEA is a supplier. IKEA is an assembler also. As a customer, I need not to contact TaskRabbit separately. I will only make a contact with IKEA, and IKEA in turn will provide me with an assembler also. So what IKEA has done, IKEA has redefined the value chain. It has strengthened its position in the value chain. How? By dropping unprofitable activities, by trying alternative ways. If I work in way A, but way B is more efficient, I stick to way B, right? And providing efficient services so that I can replace others, right? So there are 4 ways of value creation: be guardian of quality, become irreplaceable, take advantage of changing customer needs, and redefining the value chain. That is value-based strategy, where I am creating value, how much value I'm creating in the value chain. Now, how do I measure what is this quality, what is the limit that I am able to contribute? Now, that is known as the amount of value that an organization can capture. That is known as the upper limit and the lower limit. The upper limit is determined, but the amount of value that what is it? It's the amount of value that the organization creates within its current network, right? My upper limit is how much I can contribute to my present network. What is the lower limit? What if I leave this network? What if I leave this business ecosystem and I go to an alternate business network, right? What am I adding there? That is my lower limit for this particular business network A. Business network A is my main network. My upper limit is how much I'm contributing in network A. But if I decide to leave network A and I go to network B, this is the amount that I'm contributing there. So the amount that I'm contributing there is the lower limit for my network, right? Now, my upper limit and lower limit is fixed. I have to work only in between these two limits. So I have to decide about my investments, my resources, my capabilities that influence the value that it can capture. This is my upper limit, this is my lower limit. I have to work only in between these two. So accordingly, I'll decide how much investment I need to make, right? So my decision should be based on how much investment is required within these two limits. We also say that upper limit is the competitive limit, and because it contains the maximum value that the organization can give to its existing network or to an alternative network. The lower limit is how much value the members of the network are willing to give up to the organization. So it's a persuasive intent. Upper limit is the competition. The lower limit is the persuasive. Don't go there, just remain here only. Right? That's the lower limit. So that is value-based strategy. Now we come to strategic partnership. Now, that's our second way in the business ecosystem. How can we create value, right? So strategic partnership, again, it's a changed form of business ecosystem. It's one of the form of business ecosystem actually. So it's an interconnected and interdependent environment. Intercompany partnership also help to assess required resources and develop new capabilities to respond to rapidly changing business environment, right? So I'm making a partnership with somebody because that person has resource A, I have resource B. We will combine resource A and resource B, and we will develop new capabilities. Why are we doing this? Because we want to cater to the changing business environment, the business environment which is changing very rapidly. I'm doing a clustering of companies. Why? Because there is intercompany collaboration, able to produce, improve, and innovate. This is one sentence which I have broken down into 4 parts. What is clustering of company? It's an intercompany collaboration. Why? To be able to produce, improve, and innovate. How? Effectively together. On what level? On local and regional level. So that therefore it is good for the local economy, right? Because I'm doing that on local and regional level. My local companies, my small companies, they are also evolving now. So what was the old approach? Old approaches or the conventional approaches. I am an organization. I want to work for profits. I have to make an edge over my competitors. I need to have favorable conditions, and I need this is my these are my resources. These are my capabilities. I need to protect them, right? So such kind of business is not able. Any innovation happen, any disruption happen, this kind of business will collapse because it might not have those capabilities to deal with that disruption. So I adopt a new approach, which is more on cooperative basis. What I will do is I will work together for new products. I will take advantage of the capabilities of others. I'll take advantage of resources of others. I'll share whatever benefit that I get, I'll share with them. And I'll work in cooperation so that I also don't lose, you also don't lose, and both of us make profits together. That's the new approach. Simple to understand. What is strategic partnership? Interconnected, interdependent. So the two qualities means the strategic partnership. Then we have strategic network. Now, what is strategic network? The strategic force of supply chain management differs by industry and sector, right? So we have to support, we have to innovate and grow together. We have to provide information and knowledge. Good for small companies who cannot compete alone. I cannot compete alone with the big organizations. So let us join together. Let us make a network. Let us share our resources and our capabilities. Let us distribute the risks. Let us also share the benefits. Right? Now, supply chain partnership, we said that it differs by industry and sector. For example, in the basic commodities or say the food sector, right? Food sector, the focus is on lower cost. So it's a lean focus. Now, just recall, let us do this first. What is fast supply chain? Fast, speed plus time. Fast. It is fast supply chain. I'll be working on speed. I'll be working on time. Agile. What does agile means? To respond to change faster. A change is happening. My organization is very agile. I just respond to that change in a rapid manner. Lean supply chain, it focuses on less wastage. Right? There should be less wastage. So depending upon different industries and different sectors, we can choose or we can combine these supply chain partnerships. As I said, the basic commodities sector, the basic commodities is say food. In case of food, we want that there should be less wastage, right? So the focus is on lower cost. So it's a lean focus. In the fashion sector, we know the fashion is changing rapidly. Today, this is the trend. Tomorrow, that will be the trend. So quick, fast. I have to reply fast. I have to work fast. So it has to work in with respect to speed, time, and change. So I can combine both these fast supply chain plus the agile supply chain, right? Both of this will work together. Telecommunication sector, right? The telecommunication sector means there has to be less wastage, right? There has to be reliability, right? So I have to focus accordingly. The lean focus is also increasingly important for organizations which are trying to improve their performance against sustainability measures. Right? We studied about the corporate social responsibility, right? CSR. All of us know that these days organizations are focusing on CSR as well. So they have to work towards the sustainability measures. For example, the invention of electric vehicles, right? The people in general, the community in general, the organization in general, they need to consider environmental practices, or they want to reduce any wastage, or they want to check their carbon footprints, or in general, they want to change to save resources. So they'll focus on towards less wastage. They'll focus towards the lean supply chain. So that is the supply chain partnerships, the concepts that we have to understand. Fast supply chain, which has to respond with respect to time and speed. Agile supply chain, which has to respond to changes fast. Lean supply chain, which has to respond to less wastage. Right? And accordingly, depending upon the different industry and sectors, we will choose among these different supply chain management. So basically in this video, we talked about the concept of business ecosystem. We also talked about value creation and how organizations work together, share resources and capabilities, and ultimately share the benefits. We also talked about how can we involve customers in this process of value creation. We talked about value-based strategy, where an organization focuses on how it can create more value in present value chain and make a strong position for itself by becoming the guardian of quality, by becoming irreplaceable, by taking advantage of customer needs. We also talked about the concept of strategic partnership, which is an environment where the companies are interconnected and interdependent. We also talked about strategic network and supply chain partnership, and how the fast supply chain, the agile supply chain, and the lean supply chain works. In our next video, I'll be talking about the concepts of hyper competition, lean startup, agile corporations, entrepreneurial orientation, and entrepreneurship. I hope you all have understood the concepts which we discussed today. I'll be looking forward to your comments and feedback in case if you want any change. Thank you so much. Till then, keep learning, keep growing.